What's going on, folks? Joe with Baker Street Timepieces here to bring you an important question of the day, which is, are you overpaying for buying a watch that's a full kit? And the answer is honestly very, very personal, and maybe. The answer is maybe. So now, what is a full kit for those of us that are kind of tuning in who might not be familiar? So a full kit usually indicates the watch comes with anything that would have come if you had purchased it directly from an authorized dealer. So that could include the box, the inner and outer box, the hang tags that come with the watch, all the links that come with the watch, the warranty card, any warranty documentation, or any kind of additional information that might have come alongside in the box with that watch when purchased at an authorized dealer. So people are pretty free with their description of full kit, so be careful. A full kit should include everything that I just mentioned. So if you see somebody that says full kit minus hang tags, technically that's a totally fine way of advertising it. However, a full kit would traditionally come with everything that you would find when purchasing that item from an authorized dealer. But back to kind of the question at hand, which is, are you overpaying for buying a watch that's a full kit? And the answer is maybe. It really depends on why you're purchasing it and what the intended use of the watch is. So if you're parking your watch in kind of an investment piece, and maybe it's a watch that has some historical significance or a super rare reference, then yeah, sometimes the benefit of buying those watches as a full kit with all the provenance that comes along with it is significant enough where you would want to go ahead and make a purchase that has all that information. However, if you're buying a regular watch that you intend on wearing, it's something you're going to add to the collection and use for years to come, you save yourself a good bit of money if you go ahead and purchase it without having the full kit. And really, at that point, if you're not too concerned about resale value, or you purchase it at a price that makes sense for a watch that doesn't have all of those pieces, then you're really none the worse for having done so. Now, all that being said, I think the most important thing we could talk about here when you're buying a watch either way, right, is buying a watch from a seller that is reputable and buying the seller more so than buying the watch. So I would say there's two pieces that kind of come to mind with kind of this process when I think about it. So one is you buy the seller. Don't go and buy from a sketchy seller. If a deal sounds too good to be true, it is. And also make sure your seller knows about the watch. Make sure they know about the brand. They know about the history of the watch. They understand the service history of the watch. They know what was, where that watch came from and how it's running. All of those different kind of indicators are a reputable seller, and they should be able to answer those questions comfortably for you. In addition to that, buy the watch itself. So when I say buy the watch, I'm saying don't just buy a specific model, buy a specific watch. So if you're buying a watch and it's been unpolished, it's in beautiful condition, it runs really great, the service history is unknown, but it's, you can tell based on how it's running that it's been serviced recently. All of those things are indicators that say, in addition to feeling comfortable with the seller, I now feel comfortable with this particular piece, so much so that I'm willing to purchase it without kind of all of the original documentation. Now, that original documentation, people say, how do you know if a watch is authentic if you don't have all that original documentation? And the fact of the matter is, as good as they are at counterfeiting the watches themselves, they're equally good at making cards and booklets. It's actually significantly easier to manufacture those items than the watch. So when you really think about it, it shouldn't be a key indicator of the watch's authenticity. Obviously, tons of watches, you can look up the warranty information online. You can find information that tracks back to that specific serial number. All that aside, I would say when you think about it, think about buying a watch from the seller. The seller is the most important part. They should be willing to stand behind their product, and they should know about the product. That being said, talking about kind of the resale value of a watch without documentation, my expectation is you're buying a little bit lower because it doesn't have all of those pieces with it straight right when you buy it. And the expectation should be the resale value down the line is also going to be not commanding a premium as if it was a piece that had all those things. So all of that to kind of keep in mind as you're going through the process of making your purchase. This is your hard-earned money. Don't spend it on a sketchy seller. Make sure you're doing your research on the seller and the watch itself. And also understanding kind of that, these things exist for a reason. There's a reason there's plenty of watches without documentation because people don't necessarily keep it. They leave it in a closet and, they don't think about it. And then when it comes time to move the watch, they can't locate all the information. So sometimes you're paying more just to have a box that you store off in a closet. I know I certainly have a few of them. That being said, I have watches of both types. I certainly have watches that have all the original documentation as well as some that have nothing and are watch only. And I enjoy the two of them, equally as much. Watch of the day, you might ask. So today's watch is the Tudor Black Bay Heritage Chronograph, and this is in that boutique blue color. Purchased this watch from a friend of the brand's, and I've been wearing it ever since, and super enjoying that piece. So I guess I'll close out by saying, with a kit or without a kit, doesn't matter, depending on kind of exactly what your purchase purpose is. That will determine how important it is to you. It's a personal decision. Always buy the seller and always buy that specific watch. Hope that was helpful. Until next time, case closed.